Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about the new CW show called Batwoman. This show has been very controversial and very ill-received, to say the least. It came out starting last year, and we covered it a few times, especially when the trailer first premiered, because that was a very, very cringy trailer. It showed us how bad and how woke this show was really going to become. It focuses on this main character named Batwoman, of course, and she has a relation to Bruce Wayne, the original Batman. And in the trailer, in the story, she's basically this sort of former soldier, also an alphabet person. She's a lesbian, and that was the part that kind of really got people's heads turning. It was a lot of her relationship in the trailer. It was really focusing on her being alphabet and her being this woke SJW millennial version of Batman, and that obviously made people kind of worried, because in this day and age, of course, we know how bad SJW stuff is. We know how terrible television and these shows have become. DC and comic book movies have been getting taken over by these sorts of alphabet, female-led, feminist-led projects. So on the surface, it's not necessarily bad, just like how on the surface Captain Marvel wasn't bad. Having a girl superhero isn't the bad thing. What it is the stuff surrounding it. It's when the actor gets woke and says they hate white men and they can't review their movies. And it's when the studio says stuff like, oh, this is a new product for diversity. And they talk about all this stuff. Like, those things aren't necessarily bad on their own, but we've seen how terrible the products become that are produced out of this kind of premise. And with that said, now we get to today's news story, and Batwoman season just finished, and we're going to talk about that season, and we're also going to talk about why the new Batwoman is actually leaving the show. The actress Ruby Rose has decided not to come back for season 2 in a very shocking and pretty stunning move, especially considering how high profile this show was and how much money it could possibly make for her. She has some probably very good reasons for leaving, and I think we could guess a few things, which we'll get to later. But first, let me just take a quick moment to check out our sponsors at preparewithnobs.com. We're living in a strange new world, guys, and things are not normal now, to say the least, and they probably won't return to normal anytime soon. Food shortages will be the next shoe to drop too, so make sure you're prepared and have some dry food stored at your home today. No need to panic and wait in lines like everyone else. Just stock up on some of our high quality, long lasting dry food right here on our website today. The URL is, again, www.preparewithnobs.com. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. Stay safe, and hopefully you'll join us in this preparing journey. Great, now back to Batwoman. You see, as we said, Ruby Rose has announced she's leaving the show, which raises a lot of questions. I mean, this was just the first season, so first of all, why didn't the CW and the company get her signed down for multiple years? Usually these guys will have an airtight contract where they have to come back for season 2, 3, or 4, especially when you set up something big like this. They want to have things in line and make sure they can make a couple seasons before they even start the productions, especially on shows like this. Like, CW shows always get renewed. They always do really well. These DC shows they've had on there for many years have been highly successful, so you would think they would have given her a more serious contract, but apparently she was left with the option to leave, and she's taking it, and I think that shows how bad that show really is. I think Ruby Rose is, possibly swept up in this SJW silliness, but at the same time, she realizes how controversial it got and how terrible the show actually turned out. It was bad, guys. It was a really bad show. It was unwatchable. I tried watching a few episodes in the beginning, but it's just cringe-tastic. It is too much to handle, and basically it showed in the ratings. The ratings for the first season were really bad. It was tanking, doing bad all year round. And this was a long show too. I think it had 20 episodes. And it never really picked up until the very end, but it was because of a very specific reason. You see, it didn't pick up on its own merit. It didn't pick up because it had a great finale or some kind of good conclusion to a story people were looking forward to. No one was interested in the show, but a lot of people watched the finale because Batman showed up. That's what happened. Bruce Wayne comes in for some kind of cameo and a small appearance that kind of got people re-interested in the show. People love Batman. Batman is a great character. Batman still holds strong. So even him coming into something like this, some terrible SJW woke show, even him appearing for a moment, that's enough to get the hardcore fans to tune in. So that was the only thing that really saved Batwoman's show, was an appearance by Bruce Wayne. And that brings up another instance and something we've mentioned in previous videos, and that's just the fact that this whole woke thing, this whole Batwoman thing is hinged on Batman as well. I mean, it's just a girl version of Batman if you think about it. It's just a girl version, and that's kind of the weakest way you can make these girl lady comics. Like, oh, let's make a girl version of Captain America. Let's make a girl version of Iron Man. It's not very creative. It's not original, but that's where we're at, and that's why people even came up with this Batwoman show. It was because Batman is really popular, and they thought they could make a girl version. And this is actually something that CW and their company has already done. Right now they have a Supergirl show. Supergirl is just a girl version of Superman. I mean, there's not much else to it. They're from the same places. They're from the same family. They have the same weapons and gadgets. Like, it's all there. It's all just cheap girl knockoffs, and that's the basic premise for Batwoman. That's why the first season and how the ratings went, it was really bad until Batman showed up. And still, it's getting a season 2. Like I said, these shows almost automatically get renewed just because CW has this really big built-in audience, and that's good for them. I mean, I'm glad a lot of people watched these things. I'm not saying it's bad. And some of the CW shows are actually good. I really enjoyed Arrow in the early seasons. The Flash is also really good. They have quality on there too. Albeit a little bit of a soap opera style, like a little bit of a cheap TV look sometimes, but still, they have some good shows, and they also have really bad ones and really woke ones like Batwoman and also Supergirl. I didn't even get to Supergirl, but that was a whole feminist thing too. That came out about 5 or 6 years ago now, and that's a whole other story. But back to Batwoman. Now we're talking about why the first season failed and why this new actor isn't coming back. I'm not sure if we have actual details. I don't know if she said why, but here's an article from IGN that talks about it. It says Batwoman star Ruby Rose has exited the series, will be recast for season 2. Not sure if that's the best idea. I would actually try to rewrite the story and come up with a new person to play Batwoman. That might be better. Recasting her is kind of weird, but I guess that could work. It's not like it's never happened before, but what I'm more curious is why she left. I'm not sure we're going to get an answer, but I'm curious, and let's see what we got here in this article. Let's start from the beginning. It says, Ruby Rose is exiting the title role in the CW's Batwoman. The network will recast the role of Kate Kane with a new actress for the second season, which isn't slated to debut till January 2021. That's a long time from now. I have made the very difficult decision to not return to Batwoman next season, Rose said in a statement obtained by Deadline. This was not a decision I made lightly, as I have the utmost respect for the cast, crew, and everyone involved with the show in both Vancouver and in Los Angeles. Rose continued, I am beyond appreciative to Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and Caroline Dries for not only giving me this incredible opportunity, but for welcoming me into the DC universe they have so beautifully created. Season 1 photos, and I'm not sure we're going to get any more details. I mean, I don't hear any reasoning. I actually have heard some speculation, and this is safe to say. I would say you could at least say she wants to move on to other projects. I mean, that's obvious. She doesn't want to do this anymore, so she's going to do something else. And I think some people are saying she might be trying to explore further into a movie career. She's been in a few movies. She's not the worst actress. I mean, she's kind of mediocre. I'm not sure she's really going to be able to take off and be some kind of big star. Honestly, Batwoman might have been the biggest thing she could have done, but she was in some movies. I remember her specifically in The Meg, which she wasn't bad. Like, I think she has a good sense of humor, but also she was just part of this bigger cast. I liked that movie because it was fun and it had this giant shark. It's just like an action silly movie, blockbuster movie. But anyway, she's moving on to other stuff. She might think she could do better, and I'm not sure she actually can, but at the same time, it is Batwoman. You can't blame her for leaving this. I mean, I don't know. She could have gotten a lot more money, maybe. Like, if she stayed for more seasons, she would have gotten more paychecks, obviously, more residuals, more stuff like that. But I mean, she probably already has a ton of money too. She probably got a couple $1 million at least from this show. I bet she's making, $100,000 an episode. That adds up to maybe like $2 million or something. I'm sure she's already rich, so I think she's just playing it creatively. She's not in it for the money necessarily. I'm sure she could have made a lot more money, but it's just not something I would want to work on. I can't blame her. We're not trying to defend or say, oh, she should have stayed. It's just a very interesting story. I mean, it shows that it wasn't the best. It shows that it was a bad premise. Like, she had a reason to leave, I don't think it's just because she loves this show. She didn't love it. She knew it was bad and controversial, and this is just reflecting on that and showing that even the main actress is backing away, and this show is losing faith incredibly. Batwoman, which just recently aired its first season finale, was already renewed for a second season at the time Rose announced her exit. While no official reason was given for Rose's exit, Deadline reports that it is not related to the very serious injury Rose endured filming season 1. The creative powers that be reiterated that they would recast the role of Batwoman with another LGBTQ actor. Okay. The studio and network are firmly committed to Batwoman's second season and long-term future, and we, along with the show's talented creative team, look forward to sharing its new direction, including the casting of a new lead actress and member of the LGBTQ community in the coming months. For more on Batwoman, check out our review of the season 1 finale, how it sets up the next CW crossover, and get the skinny on that kind of sort of Bruce Wayne reveal. Okay, I might want to check that out actually, but I'm not really curious. Like, I think this is a very positive article. It seems like they're fans, and they're also reporting this Alphabet thing. I can't believe the company is doing this. I mean, they already failed with an Alphabet casting, and now they're doubling down and saying we need to cast someone Alphabet again. And I just find that really cringy and really bad. And it just shows they're not casting the best person. They're not going for talent. They're not trying to get someone who fits the role the best. I mean, if they're a good actor, they can play a lesbian. It's not that difficult. I mean, sure, Ruby Rose has some insight, and sure, they can get her some experience and some nuance to it, but I mean, really, is it that difficult? Are they really acting like this lesbian role is that much that they need to get a lesbian person? I mean, why don't they also get a rich person? Kate Kane is supposed to be like a millionaire, and she's like related to Batman or something. And what else can we get her to do? Do we need to get a person who actually fights crime? Do we have to hire someone who actually knows how to make Batman suits and, you know, do this stuff? I mean, it just, how far does it go? Why is it just the Alphabet thing? And I think we know the answer. The real answer is this is a woke show by a woke company made in woke Canada, and you know, the CW just wants to pander. They want to get that. This is their LGBTQ show. It's a show about a lesbian. That's the main premise. And that's why they have to get another one to play it. And that's why it's just kind of getting convoluted and sad. And I think this is why they failed before. I mean, if they had probably cast someone else, they might not have left after season 1. Ruby Rose could be kind of sick of being this token lesbian for one thing, and for another thing, I mean, she could just kind of be unreliable because she was cast for a certain reason that didn't reflect on the potential of an actor. Part of casting an actor, I don't know if people realize this, a lot of it has to do with the acting and the performances and what you do on camera, but a lot more of it has to do with just being able to show up, just being consistent, staying healthy, staying the same weight over the years, like looking the same. Like, that's actually a big part of it. And it's like, why you, when you cast someone, you say, hey, I'm making you Batman for season 1, I'm making you Batwoman for season 1, we need you for an option for more seasons. I mean, this is drawing a big thing out of they put a lot of money into this actor and this premise in this first season, so now they're going to recast it. I don't think it'll actually hurt things much, because really there's not much to hurt here. But if it was a bigger show, if it was doing well, you know, that would be a big blow, losing your main actor. It's like a band losing its lead singer. Can you imagine listening to one of your favorite bands with the lead singer changed? I mean, that happens rarely. It can work sometimes, but it's just like very, very out there. It's really hard to pull off. A certain actor and a certain character and a lead singer, they have a voice, and it leads the show and it leads the thing. And when you hear that voice and you see that person's face, that's the continuity throughout the season. So the fact that Ruby Rose is leaving, I think it could be a bad blow. It depends on who they bring in next. I've heard some rumors and some speculation. Some people are talking about Chloe Sevigny and these other kinds of lesbian actors, and I'm not opposed to anything like that. I'm not really invested, though. I don't care about Batwoman. I'm not watching. I'm not like a fan. I just like to comment on this sort of left-wing SJW silliness, which concludes with them going all Alphabet and doing this whole letter thing and promising to get another letter person into their group, which is going to be another mistake. That about wraps things up on today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. What do you think about Batwoman? What do you think about this Girl, the cast leaving the show and them recasting it, and it also getting very woke and doing terrible in the ratings. Looking forward to see what you say below. Make sure you also leave a like to help support this channel. In addition, have a great day, and we'll see you all next time.